You want to set up an automation, a call automation to get more clients, but how do you do it? How do you think about it? And what should you be doing right now to start organizing that call funnel, and what pieces do you need in place? And that's what this video is all about. It's how to set up a call automation to get more clients with less, because that's what automation lets you do, is get more clients by doing less. So the problem here is you're bad at follow-up, or you're inconsistent, and the facts have proven that video and email automations work better. And the reason why is because the YouTube automations, the video automations and the email automations that go out, they don't get sick, they don't get emotional, they don't get distracted, right? They don't get sick, they don't come in late, and that's what makes these things so powerful. And the fortune is in the follow-up, which is obviously why you're gonna want this in place so that you can start getting the fortune without having to worry about the follow-up. So I just want to go through these 5 things here, like the different funnels, the way this process works, and I've just got 5 things that I want to share with you. I'll talk to you about the software, how I think about these automations, etc. here. So the first thing is, how do you think about the automations? So I think about the automations as, let's say somebody comes into your store, and it doesn't matter what you sell right now, but let's imagine that somebody comes into your store and you sell calculators. And they come in and they're just, as they come in, you're like, hey, welcome to the store. If you need anything, let me know. The calculators these kind are over here and these kind are over here. And that's what happens, right? And so let's say that they head out, all right? So you've done this probably at a store, and you go out or the store owner, you're like, they didn't buy anything. And you're like, well, if you need something, let me know. Well, if you don't capture their information when they walked into your storefront, the likelihood of you getting in a hold of them again is very unlikely. But you don't just go into a calculator store for the heck of it because you're trying to burn time, right? So obviously that person was looking for something along those lines, but whatever happened in the experience in the store, they didn't buy it. It doesn't mean they're not going to, and it doesn't mean that they won't come back, but you've lost control at that point. So the way I think about the automations is, if I can get them interested in looking at our thing because they're actually already interested in looking for calculators, let's use that example, then if I can get something to grab their email, get their information, get them into something, then I will actually have an opportunity to really fulfill on helping them solve their problem with getting a calculator in this instance. Maybe you sell a Mastermind, maybe you sell a digital product, or maybe you're a brick and mortar. Doesn't matter really. This will help you keep in front of them because most people just need time. I bet right now you probably have some things setting in your add to list shopping cart on Amazon that you just have not bought yet. And it's not because you don't want it or you can't afford it. It's just out of sight, out of mind. Way I think about automations is, if that person came into my store and left and I had a chance to talk to them again, maybe in the comfort of their own home, maybe they're on their phone at home sitting on the couch watching TV, and I had a chance to talk to them again and say something, what would I want to say? So that's how I think about these automations. I'm thinking like, well, what would I say right away? Number one, I would immediately want to follow up with them with a picture of the store, talking about the different value that we have to help them solve their problem with calculators, whatever, and I'd like to get them back in. There's something to get them back in. So that's what I want to try to help you think about these automations as something that is going to continue to deliver the value and follow up with that potential customer, sharing with them why you actually matter to them. So that's what those things are. They're, to me, a vehicle to deliver a message, and typically this message will come in the form of a video if you really want to do it right. Because what's better, a text or a video? An audio or a video? A picture or a video? I love video because it does all those things. You can have text in it like I do in this video. It's moving, you can hear it, it grabs your attention, you can relay that message, that you can tell if somebody's confident in the way they're communicating to you. You can tell if somebody knows what they're talking about, the way they're communicating to you. And that's what really allows, and you can demonstrate in ways that you just can't any other way. So if you do them right, they're videos that get delivered to your potential prospects after they've raised their hand and said, I'm interested in this, let me look around. So what software do I use and what are the core elements to automations? Well, the software I use for my automations is ActiveCampaign. Now there's a lot of different ones that you can use. I just happen to like ActiveCampaign because of the way it communicates with the other software that we connect to it that helps us get the call set up. For instance, most of you have probably, if you're wanting to set up a call automation, you're probably already heard of something called Calendly. If you haven't, it's a phenomenal software that you can have calls being scheduled, and it also has a micro automation effect inside of it where they'll remind your customer to get on the call that they scheduled with you, and it just does such a better job of getting your appointments set. And the reason I love it so much is because it really communicates well with ActiveCampaign. And if you want my automations and how I connect everything and all that stuff, I've got, if you go to makeonce.com, you can see, I'll give you my automation template, my funnel, and how I put that all together. I made a little video for you over there if you want that. The software though, ActiveCampaign and Calendly, so you're setting up a call automation, meaning somebody went to your site, hopefully they opted into a funnel and you got their information, hopefully you got their name, phone number, email, and on the next page you demonstrated your value to them and you gave them the opportunity to set up a call. If that was the case and you did that, then the next step is getting them to show up to the call and then getting them to make sure that this is the thing that they want, and that's where we come in with these core elements. So when somebody comes to the landing page, so here we've got our organic traffic. So in all of these systems, you're going to find 4 core pillars, just 3 that we're really going to be concerned with right now, but there's 4 core pillars. The number 1 is you got to have traffic. Number 2 is you got to have a funnel or a way to collect and convert that traffic. And then you would have your product and offering, whatever it is that you're offering to help them solve their problem. And then you got your team over here. For the sake of this video and to keep it brief, let's just talk about traffic and the conversion and how that encompasses with the automations. So in this case, let's say you're putting out a YouTube video like I've got here, and you're driving them to a funnel where they're going to give you their information to get access to whatever it is that you have here, which, you know, there's all different types of ways of doing this, which we'll talk about in a minute, but just you're dangling a carrot here to get them over. It's something they really, really, really want, and you'll give that to them in exchange for their information. And as soon as they cross this dotted line here, as you can see with this person, they'll go into a list. So you've got to have a list with your automations. They got to go somewhere. When they opt in, where are they going? They're going in, their email and their information is going into a list or a data bank here. The moment that happens, this ActiveCampaign software that I'm talking to you about, it will automatically tag them saying where they came from. That's what I like to do. So if I'm using, let's say, the VSL funnel, I will have this first tag say VSL opt-in, right? That way I know that it came from my VSL opt-in. And if you have multiple VSL funnels, then you would want to get even more particular here, VSL funnel number 2 or VSL funnel model A or product B or whatever it is. Just make sure that you know the difference, and so the machine knows the difference. And then it immediately sends out this first email. Remember back up here when we were talking and I said, if they came into my store, what's the first thing that I would want to say to them? And that's what you do here. This is that first, hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope you found something you were looking for. Obviously you didn't buy yet, or maybe you're about to. I just wanted to make sure that you had a follow-up email letting you know what we've got in here, how it all works, and yada yada. And then you'll take them back to this page here, which, if you're using one of the funnels, should always have them, always give them an opportunity to buy. You always want some kind of button from this page to go to the buy page. Then from there, what happens, the moment they get that email, so follow me again, they watched a video like this, they clicked on a link, they went over to the page, opted in, boom, they went in the email list, it tagged them right away, sent that first follow-up email, and then it's gonna wait. Now what I like to do is, however long this takes here, usually page 2, I like putting a video there. Anywhere I can use video, I absolutely use video. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just the best. So this video, let's say it's 30 minutes long. You demonstrating and talking to them about their problem, showing them how you solve it and everything. Let's say it's 30 minutes long. I'm gonna make it wait for 1 hour. So I'm gonna give them 30 minutes to watch it. Most of the time, they don't finish the whole thing. I don't care how fancy your videos are. They'll typically come back. if you do automations. Otherwise, they typically won't go back there on their own or get back to it. No matter how amazing it is, it's just the way we act as humans. I'll make this about 30 minutes longer. So I give them 30 minutes to watch the video and then another 30 minutes to click the button, fill out the call, Calendly schedule thing, and then, that whole deal. And then I'll wait 30 minutes and then I have a if-then variable here. And it says if the person has the new tag, scheduled call, end the automation. Because in this automation, as we'll talk about here, we can go kind of skip down to this one. In this automation, it's designed to get them to schedule the call. If they happen to schedule the call on the first visit through, which about 5% of people will, okay, about 10 to 30% of the people that hit page 1 should get to page 2, and of those, about 5% of those should go ahead and schedule the first time through. That's if you've done a great job throughout the video. Otherwise, you're going to need about 7 to 10 exposures on that to get the rest of it, which will be about another 30% will come back from that, which is really incredible, to be honest with you. It's great. So if they did schedule, Calendly will tell ActiveCampaign, which is who operates this part of the process, hey, put this tag on that person that they scheduled. And then it will tell the list, and so when this thing gets registered or turned on, it will check that contact and find out if the tag got changed. If the tag got changed, meaning they scheduled the call, then it will end the automation and they'll be in a new automation that says, hey, thanks for scheduling. Look forward to seeing you at the call. Here's something to check out before we get on the call and get you prepared for it, right? And then Calendly will also follow up with that lead before the call happens to make sure that they're reminded to get on the call. Pretty awesome, right? If, however, after that 1 hour segment here, if it sees that there is not a new tag on there, meaning they did not schedule, it will send out email number 2. All right, so now email 2 is going out and it says, hey, I noticed that about an hour or so ago, you came into the store to see what we had and you didn't buy anything. Was it something that we didn't have? Was it something that you didn't understand? Kind of help me understand where we can get you back over to help you. You're basically talking to them, like a human would. and just like I'm just talking to a camera right now, but I'm actually talking to you. And you can feel that, right? So it's the same way that you want to treat this over here. Treat that camera lens as your customer's eye, and I just wrap it with a big heart because you should care about helping them solve their problem. And realize, as I learned back in the day in the car dealership, when my car manager I'd come back in without a sale after I'd spend an hour walking around the car lot with somebody, and I'd say, well, they're just looking, they're not looking for a car right now. He goes, oh, really? When was the last time you spent your spare time just hanging out at a car dealership? So what I'm trying to say with that is people, if they come to your store looking for calculators, they're probably looking for a calculator. You're just either going to be able to fulfill on that or not. And what happens is the normal thing, which is people need about 7 to 10 exposures, sometimes even more, before they're going to make a buying decision. People got to do their due diligence, all that stuff. They got to check and see, and that's why this video here, which is a video for another video, this video is so important because if you build that video correctly, you can knock over most of those dominoes, and then they don't need to go look somewhere else. They don't need to do all that kind of stuff, all right? But this HSO here, Hook Story Offer, okay, I learned this from Russell Brunson, and a lot of people talk about it. Some people call it Hook Story Close. Back in the day, the copywriters called it Problem, Agitate, Solve. There's a lot of different ways to look at this, but at the end of the day, when it comes to like the copywriting, the pattern, and the frequency of these emails that go out, which I have 10 emails go out in 7 days. Let me show you how this works. So how I'll do it is, this will be kind of hard to see. I'll just do it right here in a line. So in the first 3 days, I send out 2 emails a day. So 1, 2, that's the first day. The second day, which I wait 24 hours in between here. And in between every time that I wait, I always ask, did they schedule? Because they might have went back in the middle of the night before they went to bed. They crawled in bed and they're looking at their phone before they dropped it on their face because they fell asleep. They might have said, you know what, I'm going to schedule that call. This makes sense. Maybe they went back and finished watching the rest of the video, whatever it is. So I always check in between each of these, did they schedule? And then I'll send out 2 more. If they didn't schedule, I'll send out 2 more videos, 2 more videos. So first 3 days, 2, 2, 2. So we got 6 possible exposures. And in between each of these videos, I'll have the wait set up for 6 hours. So morning and evening, morning and evening, morning and evening. After that, the remaining 4 days, okay, so we've got 7 days, I just do 1 email a day with a 24-hour in between. After this, I tag it and say, they went through this whole thing. The tag literally says, went through VSL funnel automations, but didn't schedule. And then it puts them in another catch-all list where I will start to share videos like I'm sharing, like this one right here. Because after I get done with this video, I'm gonna go send it out to my email list that's building every day, helping them, come hang out with us so we can shave off years of time and effort of them setting this system up for themselves. So that's the frequency. And then I just like to send out 1 email a day, period. Because the biggest problem businesses have is people just don't know that they exist. They have great products, they have great services, they have great things, great team, all that. People just don't know they exist. They just literally don't know. So I like to make sure that they know by talking to them, using videos like this and emails and all the neat tools that we have. Okay. So, and by the way, if you're looking at this and you like stuff like this, you can subscribe and everything. I'm not so much worried about that. If you have questions, go down in the comments and make sure that you ask your questions, because if you don't ask, I can't help you. So, where we send people. So when we're doing these automations, like this video, when I send it out, this video is obviously on YouTube. I just send them to YouTube. And then in the description of my YouTube videos, I have a link that will go to my VSL funnels, that'll go to my website, that'll go to different lead magnets that I would use. And I'll talk about these different things you can do here for that. And then I always, in all situations, I give them an opportunity to buy my thing. So people can go to my website and they can apply to join our thing. They know it's always here somewhere. I may not have to point at it. A lot of times I have this down here, I don't even point at it because people are looking around the board and they'll see it and things like that. You don't have to get too crazy about this. People are getting used to this. So when we sign them up, it's easy. So each time we do something, we want to ask ourselves, what is the actual job of what I'm doing? So what's the job? If we want to use email automation, which has a ridiculous 3,600% ROI, on average, you can look that up, okay? Look up the ROI of email marketing. HubSpot just did a huge, data analysis on this and thousands of different campaigns. Email's like the top, ROI channel, period, which makes sense. I mean, you can't even be on any of these fancy social media platforms without your email. It's like, you've checked your email today, right? You want to make sure that you understand the different modes and jobs of this process, or it can be really overwhelming. For instance, we want to sometimes try to sell in the email. If you're good, you can do that. If you really understand copy and stuff like that, you can do that. But the job of the subject line is to get the email open. That's it. No other thing or no other job does it have but to get the email opened. And to get things opened, just like you would get a cat into a box or something, you would get the cat really curious about some benefit. You would show the benefit in this thing, and you pull the stick out, right? And you got it. So in your subject line, curiosity and benefit. In the email body copy, the job of the email body copy is to get them to click and go to a place where they can watch a video. Like in my email, when I send this video out, I will tease them in the subject line, saying something that they want, benefit, get it opened so that it opens and it tells my email software, hey, this person opens your emails, so it tells my email software we can send more emails to them, they're engaged. Then in the body copy, I'll say something along the lines of, benefit curiosity again, using a certain pattern. So I just use the same pattern each time. So because I'm regularly and consistently emailing my potential prospects, I will use the same pattern and same style and frequency because I want them to get used to that. I want them to understand what's coming because that's what it takes. Just like muscles take consistent, mundane repetition to do it, it's the same thing here. But you can automate this, obviously. So the body copy is to get them to click. Then when they get over to the YouTube video, that YouTube video's job is to educate them and to demonstrate to them how we help them solve their problem. And then from there, they can make it to your website, they can make it into your funnels, they can make it over to your buy page, they can schedule calls with you. So just realize that this video's job is to educate and to demonstrate how we can help people by actually helping them, which I hope you're getting help from this. If you are, you should hit the like thing or whatever. Or tell me why it's not helpful. Then we can make them more helpful. Okay, now let's go down here. Okay, I'll move this kind of back a little bit. My little makeshift red arrow. Less editing to do later. So number 5, how people get on your list. Well, this is how people get on my list most of the time. They'll watch videos like this, and I'll take this video, and since there's 5 different segments to it, I will break each one of these segments up into a TikTok, Instagram Reel, and a YouTube Short. And I just take the same video and I make it fit for the platform. I put captions on it, and then that's usually what gets them over to the longer video like this over in YouTube. And then from here, whoever's interested in using, getting getting traffic to their website, in getting new leads that are quality and setting up the proper funnels and the email automations, and they want to know how to create digital products and masterminds that sell and stuff like that, they'll go over to makeonce.com and they'll watch the training. They'll get these funnels and automations and stuff like that. And a certain percentage of those people will book a call with me, or they'll just sign up and apply to join our program. So that's the same thing that's going to happen for you. You're going to put out value like this, help them, so that they know you can actually help them. Just help them first. It's pretty simple. And then you basically are going to just give them information throughout this process on how to get in further information with you. A lot of times people call those call to actions. I call them, this person probably wants to know how to get a hold of you. They've been watching a video for however long, So then what we'll do is, so I put out a video like this every day, for now anyway. It'll probably always be that way, just because why wouldn't I? And then I put those, I take the long one, I chop it up into short ones, I put the short ones out there, the short ones drive them to the long ones drive them to the websites and funnels, they get on the email list, they keep getting videos like this, they keep learning about our process. I have a free group, it's called Performers, where I have like a test drive of my product, and I have like a community over there, and we get on a weekly call. It's all free, but then they can get a sense and a feel of what it's like to be a part of our mastermind. And it's just a really beautiful process, and all I get to do is what I love to do every day is helping people, talking about the stuff that I love to talk about and do. Okay, these different funnels here are how people are going to get onto your list. There's the classic VSL funnel. That's where you've got 4 pages. There's an opt-in here to watch a free training or whatever. It's something free that has high curiosity and benefit towards the end result that they're trying to get. And then the next page, if they so choose, they'll click a button here, go to the next page, which is your call page. And then they'll, if they get the call scheduled, it just lands them on a final thank you page that says, hey, you're scheduled, check your email, here's some more value if you want it. That's kind of what I do. Works great, been doing it for almost 2 decades. The beta waitlist is, hey, we've got something new we're releasing, and if you want to get dibs on it first, join the waitlist. And it's usually just 2 pages like this, a video with an opt-in. The second page says, hey, you're on the waitlist. You're going to get to know about it before anybody else. You'll get first dibs on that before anybody else. Pretty simple, but works great. Because while they're on this list, you have an email. All of these have their own automation, by the way. When they get on the waitlist, you have an automation series go out that's just it's just cranking up that anticipation for the product. Oh, it's going to do this. Just like you would, just like you would get somebody anticipated to go watch a cool movie or go play a cool game with you or come do something fun with you. You know how you do it. You're like, oh man, you're gonna love it. There's gonna be this there, and we're gonna have this, and man, they're gonna have this, and God, I mean, that's how it's like that, but you're talking about your product or service. It's pretty simple. The iron hot funnel is the same sort of funnel here. It's got a video and then a button where they can opt in, but typically the next page is, call or buy, right? It's more of a go get the thing. And what this is whenever you're doing videos, videos work too, because you can get down in the comments and you can hear things that people, like this right here. People were pumped up about this. I hear all the time, how do you set up a call automation? How do you use automations to get clients? So I made a video. But you could also, if you start hearing it a lot and you hear it in your Q&A calls, maybe you're hearing it from your current or past customers, you're seeing it in the different groups out there, you're hearing people talk, it's kind of a buzz thing, it's hot. You want to hit the iron while it's hot, so you create something like this and you put a title that's hot and snappy that's directly related to what you've heard, and people will opt in and you can sell it and buy, or you can sell it and they can buy it and they can set up a call. And then you got your newsletter. So if you go to my website here, makeonce.com, there's a newsletter up at the top, and I share all the stuff that I'm learning growing an information business here for almost 2 decades now. And I send out a newsletter, and I send it out several times a week, and I'm sharing what's happening with our clients, new things we're learning about the industry. Sometimes I'll send like some of these videos depending on how it goes. And that's another way that they get in here. And then this automation, it's a little light, but you kind of want to have like an indoctrination process where you're like, I usually just take whatever it is, my process, whatever my core model is, which is traffic, funnels, creating your product and team. And I just kind of take them through that lightly. And then I drop videos in like this that do real well, etc. And then the free group funnel, which is becoming my favorite, is you've got a group, it's free, and it's public, but they get a community of other people like them in there. It's kind of like a Facebook group, but it's better because in this free group funnel, the software that we use, it has a gamification feature in it. You can put free courses in there and they can unlock those. And I usually just take my full version of my Mastermind, my product, and I'll put a light overview version of it in there. And then I take things that they really, really want and I put them in there. And if they engage with enough people and they get on the weekly call, they'll open up these courses. But what's beautiful about the free group funnel is everything that you ever need to know to generate traffic and to convert the leads on your list is right in here. They'll tell you all their problems. They'll tell you what they're struggling with. And so I just love it. And it's so much more valuable than just a VSL funnel. But these all have their own use cases and they're all very valuable things. Now, what makes this all work really, really well and what will really just turn on the fire with your call automations is actually knowing how to sell without selling. And that's exactly why I made this video for you right here.